Hold on, let me just hold this for me real quick. YouTube, what's goody? It's your boy ChazO back at it again for another YouTube video, man. In today's video, man, I just wanted to hit y'all with some quick hair growth tips, you feel me? I noticed every video that I've made about hair up until this point has done somewhat well, you know what I'm saying? Y'all really fuck with the hair content and shit. So I'm gonna keep pushing it out, you feel me? I ain't gonna say every upload is gonna be about some hair content, but I got y'all boys. In today's video, as y'all read by the title, I'm gonna be giving y'all boys 5 do's and 5 don'ts when it comes to growing your hair out. This is coming from somebody who's been growing their hair for almost 3 years. So it's safe to say that I got some experience when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, growing your hair out. And then not only growing it, but allowing it to be healthy long term. Y'all boys, make sure y'all go ahead and like the video though, man. Subscribe if you are new. I just checked my sub count like a couple days ago, bro. Niggas just hit 900 subs, gang. We're 100 subs away from a ban. Like, that's crazy. Y'all keep supporting though, man. Keep liking, sharing, commenting. I really appreciate it, man. It means the world to me. And without further ado, we're gonna get into the first do. So the first do I got for y'all is to sleep with a bonnet or a satin pillowcase. If you've watched any of my previous videos, then you know how much I express wearing a bonnet or a satin pillowcase before you go to sleep. When you go to sleep at night and you don't sleep with a satin pillowcase or wear a bonnet, the friction from you tossing and turning at night can snag your hair and cause breakage or split ends. 2 things that you really do not want. And if you're not aware of what those 2 things is, go check out my how to properly grow your hair video. I know it says a year ago, but majority of things that I talk about in that video still hold firm to this day. I might make an updated version sometime in the future, but when it comes to split ends and breakage though, it has all the information you need in that video. But yeah, super important to just wear a bonnet or satin pillowcase at night. It's something super simple, anybody can do. The second do I got for y'all boys is to trim y'all ends. This is something that's really slept on, I feel like, in the hair community, something that a lot of people don't do enough, myself included. For the longest, I was growing my hair out literally for like a year and a half. I just wasn't trimming my ends. I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware of the fact that after so long, your ends need to be trimmed because they get tangled, they get knotted, regardless of how much you detangle. Split ends are just inevitable. You're gonna get some kind of split ends. And over time, those split ends will travel and they'll go higher and higher up your hair shaft eventually until they get to the root and break off your hair, which will ultimately lead to you retaining less hair and having more growth in the long term. So to prevent all that, every 2 to 3 months-ish, just make sure, you know what I'm saying, you get your ends trimmed, you go to a professional or just somebody who knows what they're doing. And trust, it'll not only make your hair go quicker in the long run, it'll make things easier to detangle. It also just keeps your hair healthy. The next do I got for y'all is do deep condition. Deep conditioning is another thing that I feel is also really slept on. I talked about this in my other video as well, but essentially using a regular deep conditioner is fine. It has its benefits as well. But once every week and a half at the latest, you should be deep conditioning your hair. All that deep conditioning really does is just penetrate the hair better than a regular conditioner, and it's gonna allow for your hair to be a lot more moisturized, a lot more soft, without you needing to necessarily wash it so often. And it's really essential for keeping your hair healthy because moisturized hair is healthy hair, and nothing helps keep your hair more moisturized than a deep conditioner. The fourth do I got for y'all is do get protective styles. When you're getting protective styles though, make sure whoever's doing your hair, you know what I'm saying, styling your hair, make sure they're being careful. And when I say that, I mean make sure they're not, you know what I'm saying, pulling or twisting on your hair too firmly, because over time you can get traction alopecia, which is basically just hair loss. But when going to somebody who knows what they're doing and it's done right, protective styles is one of the quickest and easiest ways to grow your hair. Of course, you still have to take care of your hair whenever it's in a style. You still gotta oil it, you know what I'm saying? You still gotta wash it, all of that stuff. But essentially, when you have your hair out just all the time, 24/7, you're more susceptible to breakage, split ends, because you're doing things such as putting clothes on, touching your hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, and over time, all of these things, like I said, will cause things such as split ends, breakage, because your hair is out, you know what I'm saying? Your ends are out, they're all exposed. But whenever you get a protective style, you're essentially leaving your hair alone. You're letting it basically do its own thing. You're not touching it as often because it's already done. And sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with y'all boys, I'm not saying neglect your hair by any means, but sometimes it's best to just leave your hair alone. And the best way to leave it alone is not by leaving it out and just not doing anything to it. The best thing to do is to get a protective style, such as braids, twists, braids going into twists, you know what I'm saying? Coils, whatever you wanna do. And for the last do I got for y'all, I got do use a clarifying and a hydrating shampoo. Shout out my sister, she put me onto this. This is something that I, like I said, wasn't aware of, wasn't knowledgeable of. The difference between a hydrating and a clarifying shampoo. Both of them clean your scalp, but they have different purposes. A clarifying shampoo is going to, let's say you just got through having braids and you had them in for like a month and a half, right? You ready to take them down. A clarifying shampoo is gonna help get all of that product, you know what I'm saying, dirt, oils. Clarifying shampoos are best for clarifying, best for cleaning. A hydrating shampoo, like I said, it's still a shampoo, so it's still gonna help clean your hair. But essentially what it does is just help keep your hair hydrated. Hence the name hydrating shampoo. Because see, a clarifying shampoo, while it's best at cleaning, sometimes it cleans your hair a little bit too well, as in drying out your hair. Sometimes a clarifying shampoo can be so strong that it can strip your hair of its natural oils, and you don't want that. But whenever you pair a hydrating shampoo with the clarifying shampoo, not only are you cleaning your hair and getting all that, like I said, product, dirt, oil out, but you're also giving your hair the hydration that it needs while still keeping your hair clean and allowing your natural oils to still take place. Like I said, something that's super slept on. I wasn't aware of it until my sister put me on, but I use a clarifying shampoo now and I use a hydrating shampoo now on my wash days, and it's definitely made a difference for me. I used to just use a clarifying shampoo and I used to notice like my hair strands and my scalp and stuff will be a lot more dry. Now, you know what I'm saying, my hair feels clean, but it also doesn't feel like overly dry, you know what I'm saying? All right, now we're moving on to the don'ts. So first things first, I got don't pick your hair out daily. I got a homeboy, not gonna say no names, but you know who you are, who literally like used to take some water, you know what I'm saying, some conditioner, and just like pick his hair out like daily. No, that's not it. And I used to tell him like, bro, like, do not do that. Like, it's not so bad once your hair starts getting longer, because people do it all the time. They pick the roots of their hair because they want more volume or they want to shape your hair a little bit better. That's okay. But mostly when your hair is in that shorter stage, you know what I'm saying, you only been growing it for, you know what I'm saying, 6 months, a year, whatever. I know it's tempting. You wake up in the morning, hair be all flat and stuff. You want to grab a pick and just get to, you know what I'm saying, going crazy. But no, over time you're going to cause breakage. You're going to be pulling on your hair strands, and it's just not overall healthy for your hair. What you can do though is grab, you know what I'm saying, spray bottle, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of conditioner, spray it in your hair, rub that, and use your hands, gang. I'm not saying you can't use the pick ever, but a pick is just a lot more rough on your hair than just taking your hands, like I said, water, conditioner, and just using your hands just to, you know what I'm saying, shape your hair however you want it, you know what I'm saying? And over time, that'll just be a lot more helpful and a lot more healthier for your hair than just grabbing a pick and, you know what I'm saying? When shampooing your hair, don't focus so much on the hair strands. Instead, focus on your actual scalp. Your hair strands might be dirty and everything, like, yeah, I get that. And I'm not saying don't wash your hair strands, but on your wash days when you're shampooing your hair, make sure you're focusing more so on your actual scalp. Because at the end of the day, that's where your hair grows from. That's where, you know what I'm saying, oil, sweat, all of that stuff. And at the end of the day, if your scalp isn't healthy, you can't expect any hair growth, you know what I'm saying? I remember for a while, whenever I used to wash my hair, I used to just focus more so on the hair strands and not my actual scalp. Now, whenever I wash my hair, I make sure I focus more so on my scalp and then get to, you know what I'm saying, the shaft and then eventually the ends. Don't overwash your hair. Of course, this varies depending on your hair type. Someone with type 1 or type 2 hair might have to wash their hair every couple of days, you know what I'm saying? Versus somebody with type 4 hair might not have to wash their hair for, you know what I'm saying, a couple weeks. It just depends. Find out your hair type, and once you do find out your hair type, make sure you're not overwashing your hair, because eventually over time, if you wash your hair too often, you'll strip your hair of its natural oils, which are ultimately dry out your scalp and lead to some thinning. And you don't want that, gang, trust me. Besides, a little bit of dirt ain't never hurt nobody, you know? Just a little bit though, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't be going, you know what I'm saying, 6 months without washing your hair. You know who you are. Don't panic about shedding. As I mentioned earlier, breakage is most definitely a thing, but also shedding is a thing. It's harder to tell when your hair is shorter, but essentially what shedding is longer, you know what I'm saying, healthier pieces of hair that you can tell. Just, let's say if you just got through taking your braids out and you go wash your hair and, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of hair comes out, that's normal. Everybody sheds. We all shed. It's not just animals. As humans, especially when you're trying to grow your hair out, you're going to lose some hair. It is what it is. You can't keep every single strand of hair on your head. It's not possible. I just want y'all to be aware though, when you do start shedding hair, usually whenever, you know what I'm saying, like on a wash day or something, because that's when you're, you know what I'm saying, you're washing your hair and everything. I want y'all to just be aware of the fact that shedding is completely normal, and don't overreact and try and use a bunch of different products or, you know what I'm saying, methods or whatever to stop it. And just be cool. Just be cool. And finally, don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Everybody's genetics is different. Everybody's environment is different. Everybody's hair is different. You can have the exact same hair type as this person, use the exact same products, have the exact same routine, and your hair still might not grow as fast as this other person's. But at the end of the day, if you stay consistent as well as do and don't do all the things that I listed in this video, you should most definitely see some growth. Unless you got bad genetics. In that case, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, you're hoed. I'm sorry. That's gonna go ahead and do it for the video, man. I hope y'all boys really did enjoy. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to stay consistent. I'm a busy guy. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a busy guy. But this is a priority for me. So I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, keep it at the top of the top, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to things that I gotta take care of. I really do appreciate all y'all though, from the bottom of my heart, man. If you made it this far, drop a comment down below or something, letting me know, you feel me? Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, as well as share the video for your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 subs on the way. You feel me? And that's just the beginning. Like I said though, man, I appreciate all of y'all watching. More videos coming the rest of 2025, all of 2026. You know that. It's been your boy ChazO, and I'm out.